Hi and welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'm doing an update on my Panasonic GX8. I've been using it for a couple of months now, and I just wanted to let you know how I'm getting on, because cameras are a funny thing. You can fall in love, you can fall out of love with them. You find things that really annoy you as you go on, or things that you think, actually, yeah, that was a problem at the beginning, but actually in use it's not a problem, you know, where a dial is or something like that. And so I just wanted to, update you on my experience. And also, they've brought out something called Post Focus as an firmware update. So I've done that, and essentially what that does is actually brilliant. It's a shame you have to turn it on and off, but you turn it on, you take a picture, and if you've got lots of things in the foreground, lots of things in the background, you take your photo. It's really designed for a one shot, so just compose one photo, done. You can hand hold it, you don't have to have it on a tripod or anything like that, like the AMD EM5. It's not a high megapixel thing, but what it allows you to do is focus after the fact. So you take your picture, and then you look at your picture afterwards, you touch it where you want to focus, and you can focus peak and do all that after the fact, and you can choose your focusing point after you've taken the photo. Magic. Now, I've tried to figure out how it works, and the only way I can imagine it's doing it is like focus stacking. And what it does is, when you take the picture, all the green sort of focus points look for large differences in focal plane, I suppose, and then it takes, I don't know how many photos, half a dozen, 20, 30, 100 photos, I don't know. It takes all these photos, and then you choose where you want to focus after the fact. It's brilliant. It's a tad gimmicky, but I can see uses for it. So, and it's a free upgrade, it's a firmware upgrade. It's not like they fixed something that was wrong, it's just an extra thing to have, which is great. So, in use, well, the first thing I'd say about the Lumix is it screams at you to take me out. When I pick up my RX 100 and I want a little tiny pocketable cupboard, my Lumix is saying, oh, take me, because you want to use it. It's got a lovely viewfinder, it's got a lovely screen. The screen does whatever you want it to do. It's tactile, the knobs, dials, buttons, everything on it is tactile, it's all metal. It's just a lovely thing to use. The fact that the end result is also stunning, in my opinion, and I've been doing especially some low light testing up to ISO 6400, and it's absolutely, yeah, you get noise and all that, but it's absolutely fine. I've taken some great pictures at 1200, 1600 ISO, and no problems at all. 3200, 6400, as I say. Really, really good image quality. If you get the ISO down, to the sort of sub 800s, then the image quality is absolutely fantastic. I don't want for anything else. The extra megapixels of the 20 megapixel sensor, I don't see an awful lot of difference. It allows you to crop a little bit better and still retain a bit more detail. Other than that, there's no real benefit. There's no real loss to the ISO performance by having that. So it all works really well. The only downside, really, which is the main one, is the silly little microphone jack. That is an annoyance, but that's never going to change. I can't do anything about that. But it seems rugged. I do look after my gear, but I do use it, and it still looks. If I gave it a quick clean, which it is due for, it would come up like brand new. So that's good. Functionality is just so easy to use. I think that's what Panasonic are doing. They're making cameras that are easy, and you look at their advertising with the 4K photo mode. They're not saying this is the ultimate in image quality. They're saying 8 megapixels is plenty to print a nice print, or a canvas, even, a big canvas. 8 megapixels is absolutely fine for that. What we're doing is we're giving you the ability to capture the moment. If your kids are playing and you're trying to take a picture, put it in 4K photo mode, throw away some of the pixels, I know, but capture the moment, the exact moment that you want, using that 4K photo mode. And it's so well implemented, it's easy to do. You just scroll along with your picture, you find the photo you want, you save it as a JPEG, send it off wirelessly and get it printed, whatever, and put it on the internet. It's fantastic. So, you know, that's not something I use an awful lot, but I can see what Panasonic are doing with their cameras. The auto modes work okay. I mean, I've got this in manual mode at the moment, and that's pretty much what I use it in. It's either manual or aperture priority. They're the only two modes I use, and I do sometimes switch to black and white and do a bit of shooting in black and white as well. I've got it paired at the moment here with the lovely little Lumix 20mm f1.7, which becomes stabilised because it stabilises in the body. So, you know, 20mm f1.7 is a lens you want stabilised because it's not a wide angle, it's a 40mm. If, say, you was using the, the 17mm, it doesn't matter that it hasn't got stabilisation on a wide angle, but on a lens like this it does make a difference. So this lens has got like a new lease of life on this camera. The only issue I sort of have, really, and to be honest, it's not ever been a problem, but it's just something I notice. The front dial clicks, it's about right, it feels nice. The rear dial, it's just too soft, it's not clicky enough. The exposure compensation dial, lovely knurled aluminium dial, clicks lovely, clunk, clunk, it really does click in nice. The mode dial, again, knurled, you grip it lovely and it clicks nice, you're never going to knock those. This rear dial, it just moves slightly too easily, which is a shame, and I don't know why that is, why they've done it like that, but it's just not got the clicky of the front dial. The front dial locks in better than the rear dial, it's just a bit too easy to move. But so I've never actually moved it by mistake, so it's no major issue, it's just something to note. The viewfinder, I don't even notice the viewfinder anymore because it is that good. Absolutely beautiful viewfinder. The screen as well, it's beautiful. The touch sensitivity of it is great. You know, I don't know, I can't. After using this, I've looked at, I'm not going to lie to you, I've looked at Fuji X-T1s, Fuji X-T10s. I've always had a hankering for an Olympus OMD EM1, mainly for the image stabilisation and the handling. The OMD EM5 Mark II that I had, the image stabilisation was eerily good, it was just stupid good, but I just didn't like the handling of the camera. You know, that's just me, I can't speak for anyone else. The Sony A6000, just don't like it. I had the NEX6, and the same problems exist with the A6000. In my opinion, is that the autofocus it doesn't touch this for snappiness, it just doesn't touch it. What else have I looked at? Oh, I had a play with a Nikon D5200, I think, the other day. I think it was 5200, 5300, whatever it was. I just didn't like it, and then I went back to this and I thought, God, this is so nice, it does everything I want. So I'm not planning on changing it. I am going to get perhaps a couple more lenses, just try different things. I'm going to get a 50mm 1.4, the old Olympus lens, and put it on, you know, manual focus lens, just try that out, because that will give me technically an equivalent 100mm f1.4, so the depth of field equivalent on that would be, to a full frame, would be like a 100mm 2.8 lens, which is pretty good. I think that's going to be quite a nice lens to play around with, and also I like having those old manual lenses, they're good fun. This is a great lens to use, like manual focus, it's got a nice resistance on the focusing ring. I haven't tried too hard with this. It doesn't feel nice when you do this, but to use, it's actually nice. And when I've got this set up, again, it's so simple. I've got it set up so as I flick it into manual focus, I turn the dial, the control ring on the front of the lens, it punches in on the screen and engages the focus peaking. Now, if the bit that's punched in on the screen isn't where I want to focus on, I just move it with my thumb. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I don't suppose you're going to be able to see it on the screen. I will try and show you. So let's go into manual focus, and you see it's already punched in on the cup that's there. So I'll just gradually focus there. I've got the blue lights, there you go, bang on the mug, and after a while, once you go to take the picture, it'll go back to the main screen. If I move that ring again, it'll punch in again. And if we do punch in and I want to move that round, I just move it with my finger to where, so that's where I want to focus. Then I can just move my focusing ring, put the focus exactly where I want it. You know, it works a treat. If you want to put it back in the middle, you just press the display button. It just works. It's intuitive. You don't have to go into any menus. All I have to do to get all of that activated is this switch here, which is perfect reach to my thumb, is go bosh like that down to manual focus, and that's all set up. You know, that's going to do exactly what I want it to do, which to me is where things like the Olympus and the Fujis, that's where they fall down. You know, that sort of thing just wouldn't be that easy. You know, if I want to change modes, yes, I know there's no mode dial for the shooting modes, but I've got one tap, and then I get a drive mode menu up, and so I want to go into just a single shot, I just tap that and that's done, I'm away, just a single shot. If I want to go back again, I can just tap it. If I want more settings, I just tap that and I've got more options and I can go back. I've got my 4K photo mode there, I've got me bracketing, you know, I can go to more settings for change my bracketing. You know, it's just everything about it is, let's just go back into bracketing and go to 323. It's just easy and visual, and you see something, you think, oh yeah, I want that, and it works. Whereas on the OMD, for instance, I saw something, I thought, oh no, that part of the menu doesn't work. Why is that? Why doesn't that part of the menu work when another part of the menu does work? It made no sense to me. Whereas this absolutely does, and I absolutely love it. The on-off switch is in the right place. I can do it single-handed, so when I'm not shooting, I can turn it off, save the battery. Battery life, absolutely fine. No issues with that at all. I've taken it out all day, and it's absolutely fine. I haven't even spoken about the 4K video. You know, it's absolutely brilliant as well. The image stabilization works okay in the video. It's digital, not the in-body doesn't work, but it's certainly good enough. And yeah, I love it, absolutely love it. I can't speak highly enough about it, really. And also the fact that the price is coming down now as well. You can get it a lot cheaper than I paid for it, because I got it when it first came out, but I still think it was good value for money anyway. So there you go. I'm trying to think of any issues. The Q menu that is on there is great, because when I'm using, like if I use flash on it, I've got the flash system set up in the Q menu. My function buttons, you know, it does. I've got one there, metering mode. That one I've now switched the front and rear dial. One's ISO and one's focusing points. Not that you ever need that, because the focusing with the touchscreen is so easy anyway. I've got a function button down the bottom here, which I can change to black and white, vivid and things like that. I can basically change the colour profile quite easily, you know, just by tapping it. So I'm taking a shot and I want less saturation or less sharpness, I can just go, or less noise reduction, I can just go into it and touch it. You know, I haven't got to go through loads of screens and do things. I can just literally go on it and touch it. I can go to vivid, natural, monochrome, all that, all from that function button, you know, really easily. It's absolutely fantastic. Another function button there which turns my touchscreen on and off. Sometimes I want the touchscreen off, so I don't want to keep moving the focus point. That's fine. And then I've got the LVF button, which I don't use to turn the LVF on or off, because it works fine anyway in auto mode. So I have that button set to digital zoom, so I can have 2 times or 4 times digital zoom. Not something you use an awful lot, but it's handy to have it on a button. And then on the front, that's the only slight annoyance, was that front button. It's easy to press by mistake, so set it up for something like I've done. And I've got mine set up to basically activate or deactivate the artificial horizon. So it doesn't matter if I pick the camera up and press that, all it's going to do is turn the artificial horizon on or off on the screen, which is absolutely fine. So So there you go. Panasonic Lumix GX8. I can't think of anything bad to say about it. I'll throw up some pictures that I've taken recently at the end with this camera, but just to say I'm loving the size, the weight of it. I know it's a little bit bigger than some of the Micro Four Thirds, but it's not. It's nice, comfortable to hold. You can wear it on your wrist all day long. It's not an issue. A couple of lenses in a little tiny bag. Brilliant, brilliant little camera. So this is GRVO TV, G's reviews, views and opinions. I'll see you soon. Bye.